Hey there everyone, recently passed 100 subscribers courtesy of me expressing my interest in the upcoming Marvel Legends X-Men 97 figures that are releasing later this year. I just wanted to come here and say thank you to everyone who watched and commented. I really enjoyed hearing what you all had to say, whether positive or negative. I also wanted to make this little wish list video of the figures that I'm currently looking for, and I'll see which ones I get in between now and maybe in another future update video. Real quick, for those who are new or don't know anything about me, I did recently get back into toy collecting after years of moving on from the hobby. I bought the occasional things like NECA figures and some Black Series figures, but I recently found myself really gaining an interest in Marvel Legends, specifically this retro line. So here is my list of figures from the past, present, and the future that I have been looking into. We'll start with Spider-Man because that's currently why I got into collecting in the first place. My partner bought me the Spider-Man Renew Your Vows set for Valentine's Day, which genuinely is what got me back into collecting toys again. Now that I had a definitive Spider-Man action figure, I thought he should use some villains, and I found a lizard on clearance at my local toy store, and then the channel was born. So I'm still trying to collect the major villains. The first item that I added onto my wish list at the start of this year was the Doc Ock and Silk 2-pack. It seems to be the best way to get a Doc Ock figure. It's only on Amazon for me for a fluctuating price between $110 to $130. I've been sitting on it for a really long time because I don't know who Silk is as a character, so I'm paying that full price just for a Doc Ock figure, and it's been a little hard to convince me. Rhino's kind of in the same boat. He's a bit more likely of a purchase now that I have a Sandman figure. That video is out soon. He's currently at $85. He was $60 some time ago, and I've been hesitant ever since, but $85 is the normal price for him down here at least. For the Spider-Man figures that I know existed in this line at least once before, but I've never seen them available, Mysterio looks really great. He's exactly what I would want from a Mysterio figure, but I'm assuming he goes for very hefty prices because I haven't seen him listed anywhere, even on secondhand markets for me. Green Goblin is also very high on my wanted list. Looks like he was made in the first wave of those retro figures that released. If this video goes out to any other New Zealand viewers out there, tell me, did we ever actually get these toys? Because I never saw them around, and if we did, where were they sold? Kraven was recently released. He seemed to follow the same pattern as Lizard and Scorpion. He released alongside a wave without actually being part of the wave. He's been out of stock ever since. He's around $50, I think. Looks like they haven't made a Vulture figure just yet, so I'll probably be able to get ahead on that one if they do release him as part of a wave. I missed the Electro figure as well, but I do have the Diamond Select Disney Store figure actually. I bought him on clearance while I was visiting the parks around 8 years ago I think, so I haven't seen what his size is like compared to these Marvel Legends ones, but I do have a figure that looks exactly like that, so I might just stick to that one depending on his scalability. That's basically it for all of the Spider-Man figures, but on to X-Men now. I started my collection with a Beast figure because I heard that there were rumors that there was going to be an X-Men 97 wave, so I'm glad that I started on that. He's been out of stock ever since and just doesn't exist now. My partner is also an X-Men fan, and for her, I did buy the movie likeness figures that released some years back, so we do have some movie-based figures, but I'm personally more of a comics and cartoons guy myself. Naturally, all of those X-Men 97 figures are on my want list, at the very least Wolverine and Magneto. Cyclops doesn't seem to have a release lined up for him just yet. They did release this black suited version just this year, and I've been kind of debating back and forth on buying him. He's currently $50, and I just don't really like it compared to the blue and yellow. If I buy this one, I won't buy another one, so I decided I would just kind of hold off on this, maybe wait a few years and just hope for a remake version. I bought the 20th anniversary Hulk figure, and I thought it was really weird that Toad also got a release, but now I think I want him the most. He looks really good, and the weird inclusion actually completely swayed me on him. He's currently only $39, and he seems to stay at that price. He's the cheapest of those anniversary figures. Apocalypse was someone that I was going to pass on, but then I saw him in person. He's really big, and I think the Hulk figure actually convinced me on the big spend for big figures. Currently $85, he did drop down to $60 at one point on Amazon. I would like to wait for another $60 sale. I could be unlucky though. With the Fantastic Four, I really just want the main four. When I visited home last time, a couple of months ago actually, a toy store had all of these figures except the Thing available for around $35 each, and I really did consider buying them there, but I don't like that Mr. Fantastic figure very much. I just don't like the stretchy fingers. I wish he had something more, and I don't really like that Sue figure for her face. I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted on it. If all four of them were available there at that time, I would have been very easily swayed, but I knew that buying Reed, Sue, and Johnny meant that I would have to do some research in finding a Thing figure, so I just left it. Maybe there will be better versions later in the future. Indiana Jones, that's another line that I started this year. I wasn't really sold on them unless I could guarantee that I would get more than just a handful. They are really amazing period piece figures, so I was thankful that I actually did have the chance of getting a good collection once they went onto a clearance. They're also also not really available here though, so I haven't quite been able to finish what I want entirely. I successfully eventually completed Wave 1, videos are on the channel. Arnold Tot was sold out for months around here, and I eventually bought him in a different city. I also have 3 out of 5 figures of Wave 2. I'm currently missing the Short Round and the Hypnotized Indie, so I guess they're on the list. Short Round is a need, really. He finishes the artifact that I have sitting that's been half built, but I hate that Hypnotized Indie figure. I really don't like it. It's such a waste of a slot. If I buy Short Round, that means I'm only missing 1 figure, so it'll just be like an unfinished collection, and that would frustrate me. I didn't want to review any of these figures until I had the entire set, but it's been months now since I acquired the Helena Indy and Temple of Doom figure. Hypnotized Indy needs to be on a real deep sale for me to buy him. Recently, Marion and Salah dropped from $45 to 20 NZD because nobody wants these figures. Problem here though is that NZ has no stock on Wave 2 at all. They've just never sold them in stores. I bought the other figures from Wave 2 online and I had them shipped to me on a sale. My concern is that Short Round will eventually come back in stock and I'll have to pay full price for him, and then Hypnotized Indy will be there as well. He won't sell, but by the time he goes on sale months later on down the line, Short Round is going to be gone. First world problems, I'm sure some of you understand. As far as that third and definitely final wave goes, I really want Henry Jones Sr. and I would like to get the Grail Knight because that's just a really weird action figure that wouldn't exist outside of this line otherwise. I'm not really sold on those other figures. I do like that Mads Mikkelsen has an action figure, but no dial accessory is just insane to me. I really don't need another indie unless he's clearanced, and I doubt my country is even going to stock these, so I might just have to quit while I'm ahead. As I mentioned, Black Series was my main constant collection. I have a lot of those figures, so I don't really see the collection ending anytime soon. I've been buying these figures since 2015. At the start of the year, I bought an order of 6 figures. I think I remember the Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka, and Thrawn. They were some of the figures there. I think Obi-Wan and the Inquisitor. I had them sent to my home around my birthday, and I visited my family maybe 4 months after I ordered them, so they've just been waiting for me. The thing is though, I had such a good time with this channel and the figures that I was buying and reviewing that I just lost interest in those Black Series figures. They're not bad, they're just nowhere near as intriguing to me as like these Marvel Legends retro figures. But currently, I'd say that I'm on the lookout for an R2-D2. They're releasing one for Return of the Jedi, I think. I bought a 3PO this year for $20 on sale, so I will need an R2 to go along with that. I heard a while ago that Ki-Adi-Mundi is being released. When is this? I'll buy him for sure, because I do have the other Alien Jedi. I think that makes a really cool looking collection. I missed the Ahsoka figure from the Clone Wars. There's a brand new one that's releasing, and it's based on my favorite variant around the midway point of the series, so that one is high on my wanted list now. I don't have any Maul or Grievous figures. Both have Battlefront variants that are releasing this year, so that could be of interest to me. I think they are $50 and $70 respectively. With NECA, I don't really know. NECA's really hard to come by around here now. I pretty much just gave up on the dream of that one. I do keep my eye out for Ninja Turtles, but you have to understand, $150 for a 2-pack is just way too much money. I really love the details, I do, and I believe that NECA figures are of high quality, and I'm always satisfied when I get them, but I also need food to survive, and I would rather do that. I have a very small horror collection that features my definitive versions of horror classics like Freddy and Jason. I am missing a Michael Myers though, which is pretty embarrassing, so he's very high up there on that list. Just about any variation will do really. For the McFarlane toy line, I began collecting Justice League figures last year actually when I visited Movie World in Australia because of how impressed I was with the McFarlane line of DC toys. So I have a Superman that I really love, I bought a Lex Luthor on clearance, Bizarro as well, a Martian Manhunter, a Green Lantern. I would love to have definitive versions of Wonder Woman, Flash, and Batman. Those are my only needed figures right now. I just wanted a proper Justice League team display. There's been a Flash I think for Injustice, but I don't want any specific variations from games and movies. I just want like a comic or an animated one. All of the Wonder Womans have looked really weird. Batman as well. I think I missed the boat on the Batman figures, but I'm sure he'll do one at some point. I think that's about it for the modern McFarlane figures. I'm a lot more interested in his past toy lines actually. Those Movie Maniacs figures, the Matrix line, I really love Lost as well, and The Simpsons, but all of the toys that I want from beyond the past, like over the past 30 odd years, that's an entirely different video as well. So that's it for my current wish list of figures that I want. These are all of the ones that I think are currently on the market or have been in the past couple of years that are of interest to me. I have no prediction at all for which ones I would get. It could be all of them, it could be none of them. There is unreleased stuff that's yet to be announced, so who really knows, and my country has really awful stock issues, so it's, I guess, part of the fun. Thank you very much for supporting this channel recently. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, liking and subscribing helps to continue the support, and I'll see you in the next video.